So today I would like to start with questions. If the questions are ready, we have one question to start. The only way to achieve enlightenment is to ask, to investigate, and to realize. And therefore, we have this call every day at 8. And you can ask any question on life, on death, on happiness, on unhappiness, on God, on heaven, on hell, on death and rebirth, on the soul, on reincarnation, on realization, on the purpose of life. This any of these questions which come in the spectrum of what is life about, what is the purpose of life, we're happy to answer these questions so people can move forward in this journey. Many people ask this question, why should I live? People ask me this question. Somebody very dear to me asked me this question, why should I live? I said, you don't have a choice. The question has to be reframed. Not why should I live, but how should I live? Because you did not decide to come to earth. You did not choose. You were brought into this planet for a purpose. There's a reason. But most of us, we don't know the reason. When something happens, we question why. We cry. We don't realize we planted the deed. And just like when you plant a seed, you get the fruit. When you plant the deed, you will get the destiny. So there are questions. I think we start question number 1. Lavina, your time for your question, please. Unmute and ask your question.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Lavina.
Sir, my question is, at the level of understanding, we know that we are consciousness.
Yes.
But what is stopping us to realize that? What is the reason?
Okay, tricky question. At the level of understanding, you know that you're consciousness. But what stops you from being that consciousness? Consciousness, suppose you say, I want to be consciousness, but I'm not being conscious, correct? What
Yes.
stops you from that is your own mind. Your own mind, which is a bundle of thoughts. Suppose you're talking to me. Immediately in front of you, somebody's moving, or there's a television, or there's a thought, nothing. It's just a thought wanders that, oh my God, today at 8:15, I had a doctor's appointment. Immediately, you lose consciousness of the present moment. Okay, Lavina, let me go one step back. What do you understand by consciousness?
Energy.
No. So it's not just energy. Consciousness is that state of being aware. It is that state of, it is that, suppose today you are able, if you just sit still and you're able to watch your life. No thoughts, there are no thoughts, there's stillness. You're able to watch where your life is going, what you're doing. You're able to be still, you're able to be conscious. That is consciousness. Energy is considered to be consciousness. That's a different terminology. But energy is not consciousness. We all have energy. You also have energy. What stops you from being that energy? You are energy, right? Even whether you're sleeping, also your energy is, when you go to sleep, your subconscious mind, as they call it. Scientists confuse conscious from consciousness. So that suppose according to science, if you're sleeping, they'll say she's unconscious. If you're not conscious. Or when you're awake, they say you're conscious. Or when you're driving a car and you're on the phone, you're conscious on the phone, you're talking on the phone, but you're driving with your subconscious mind. That has nothing to do with consciousness. Consciousness is a state of awareness. What is that awareness? I, Lavina, I'm not Lavina. It's just a name. I am the divine Atma. I am the soul. That awareness is consciousness. And what stops you from that consciousness is your own mind. Yes, Lavina.
Sir, I think this all the time that I'm not Lavina, I'm consciousness. So I'm aware.
No, but because you're thinking it. As long as you're thinking that, you're not yet that. When you become that, then you will not think that. You agree? You agree with me or you don't agree with me?
Yes, sir.
You agree
Sir.
with me?
Yes, sir.
Because you're thinking your consciousness, means you want to be consciousness. You are, like you said, you know you are consciousness, but you're thinking consciousness. No, you become conscious. You
Sir,
become
how to become conscious?
by switching off the mind. When the mind, the state of consciousness, I'm giving you something to ponder upon. The state of consciousness is a state of thoughtlessness. There is no thought. Shh. There is no thought. You need to get to that state. Okay. Next question, please. Thank you, Lavina. Sudeep Bhargava. Sudeep Bhargava.
Yeah, Shivam Merji.
Shivam, Sudeep.
Yes, sir. So my question is in continuation with what Girish ji said towards the end of the session yesterday, a few lines about the consciousness. Yeah. So it may be a bit different from what you had discussed with Lavina right now. So I'll continue with his statements, and I just wanted a kind of an insight further into it. So he said consciousness is the light in which everything else appears. Right. That was one of the statements that he said.
Correct.
Okay. So here I will have to take consciousness as an energy. Let me take it as a light energy just to put my point across.
Don't worry.
So let me assume that it's the light outside my house, and a part of that light has to be brought inside my house so that I can see what's inside my house. That's my body, how I look at it. So I need a kind of a mirror which can reflect a part of that sunlight which is outside my home into my home, assuming there's no electricity. So what could be that mirror in my body? Will that be the intellect, or how is it going to be?
No, your mind is making you go very upset.
That's what it does always. I've always admitted in front of you.
So Sudeep, this is the point. The mind wants to confuse us so much and give so many. I have to give you an analogy sometimes because I want you to understand it, correct? But if your mind makes you go round like a merry-go-round, see what happens. Okay, let me give you an analogy. Let me give you an analogy of your question. You're watching, you're trying to watch the Eiffel Tower or the Taj Mahal. Let me say you're trying to watch the Taj Mahal. But you're sitting in a merry-go-round around the Taj Mahal. The merry-go-round starts, you can still see the Taj Mahal. But the merry-go-round is going round and round. Now the merry-go-round is going very fast. So can you see the Taj Mahal? The Taj Mahal disappears. Because it's going so fast, round and round and round and round, that even though Taj Mahal, you pass Taj Mahal, you don't see it because it's so fast. Now, this is the problem when you start to have too many of these analogies. So what are you trying to get at? You try to tell me, forget what your is there a point you like what Girish said yesterday? You appreciate that or not? Or you are confused about that?
I 100% agree. There's no doubt.
Then
I just want to go a step forward. That my question is, how does that consciousness, which is, if I look myself as a body for a minute, there's a consciousness which is outside my body. How is that part of consciousness coming into my body? So is it done through the intellect? Is it the intellect which is passing on?
Just like there's air inside your body and there's air outside your body. You are thinking there's air inside your body. Actually, you are inside the air.
My point is that somebody must have put the air inside the balloon. If I to your example, somebody took the air inside his lungs and then passed it off inside the balloon.
No, somebody didn't put the air in the balloon. Somebody put the balloon in the air. See, what I'm trying to tell you, the air is everywhere, na? Somebody put the balloon in the air, and then in that balloon, they put the air from the air because the balloon was in, and now the air is inside the balloon and outside the balloon. Consciousness is inside you and outside you. Consciousness is everywhere. There is no place where there is no lack of consciousness. Therefore, what Girish said, it is in the light of consciousness that all this happens. It is in that light of consciousness that you are trying to say all this, but it is in that light of consciousness that your mind is jumping like a monkey and going here and there and trying to say you have become a mirror and the sunlight and the reflection. No, why are you getting into all? Don't let the mind take you there. Stop the mind and tell, hello. You know what? You know the new bhajan I wrote? You've not heard the new bhajan I've written. The new bhajan I wrote, it said,
No, which one?
Man re tu kahe ko
Yes.
शोर करे ख्यालों में मुझको तू क्यों डुबोता शांति क्यों चुराए. Huh? This is what you need to tell the mind. Every time your mind goes round, Sudeep, you tell your mind, Man re tu kahe ko shor kare. Silence the mind. What did Lavina tell just now? What did Lavina told? How to get to the state of consciousness? What I told Lavina? I told you want a state of consciousness?
Silence.
Silence the mind. Sudeep, don't think that the more you think, the more you will get there. Sudeep, it's opposite. The less you think, the more you will get there.
Okay. Right, sir.
Thank you. Next question, please. Samita.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Samita.
Does the soul find another body, or does the mind and the ego choose a body according to its karma, and then the soul is entering in?
Okay. The first question, the soul does not find another body. So it is just like saying, when the bulb in your house gets bad, does the electricity find another bulb? No. The electricity is there. Samita goes and buys a new bulb from the market.
Yeah.
It's not that the electricity finds another bulb and brings for you. No. So the soul is an energy. The soul has nothing to do to find a new, what did you say? The soul finds a new body, you said. Like that?
Yeah.
No, the soul is just, imagine the soul to be electricity. Imagine the soul to be power. So the soul gives power. Your second part is your correct. What is the second part that you said? That
does the mind and ego choose a body according to their karma?
That also is partly right and partly wrong. The mind and ego has its karma.
Okay.
But the mind and ego will not choose. I believe that the mind and ego is assigned a body. Let me ask you, so for example, did you think you chose this body?
I was given to understand like we choose everything according to our karma, including our parents, to
what do you
fulfill
think?
some things.
No, do you you see what, Samita, the biggest problem in spirituality is we believe something just because we are told. And I have told you, don't even believe me until you are convinced. Correct? Is this what I've told you? If I tell you something, you don't believe me. You question me. You have have I restricted you from questioning me anything? You can ask me any question. You can ask me any question. So what we must do, they teach us in the Upanishads, they say Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, which means first we listen to people. Suppose somebody told you that the mind and ego, according to its karma, will choose a body, will choose parents. Then you ask yourself the question, how is it possible? Because the mind and ego, Samita, very important. Everybody please pay attention, very important. The mind and ego, when it's not in the body, it is incapable of doing anything. Are you getting my point or not getting my point?
Yeah.
The mind and ego, if you remove it from the body, it's like a software which is not in the hardware. If the software is not in the hardware, you're familiar with computer? Are you familiar with the computer?
Yeah.
If a software is not in the hardware, is the software capable of doing anything? So the mind and ego is not capable of doing anything. It is assigned a body as per its karma. And to me, this is such an advanced super technology of the divine that it happens in a flash of a moment. We don't even know it. We just land in a new body. And when we land in the new body, Samita, what you said, that's when the soul gives us power. When does it happen, Samita? When does this happen?
When we land in the new body.
Not in the full body, in the first cell.
First cell, yeah, zygote.
9 months before you are born.
Yeah.
So
but
that's
that means the soul has a memory.
Soul is only electricity.
Okay.
I told you, soul is just a power. The soul, okay, just let me give you your example. You know that Samita Gupta, Samita will be alive or Samita will die?
Will die. Samita will die. Yeah.
But you, will you die?
No.
You will not die.
Yeah.
You, which means you, the you which is now in Samita, the mind and ego has its karma.
Yeah.
So you will carry this karma without your knowledge. You will carry this karma and you will be transported into a new body, and the soul will give you a life in a new body. And then you will evolve in that body.
Okay.
And if you realize that I am not the mind and ego, if you realize I am not the mind and ego, then you will not be reborn in a new body. Then you will be liberated and you will be united with God. I hope I'm not confusing you.
No.
But remember
Thank
this.
you.
Yeah, and remember this. Capture what I said. You have the Enlightenment book or you don't have the Enlightenment book?
Yeah.
You have the Enlightenment book?
Yes.
So try to capture these things, all of you, and try to be sure. See, again, tomorrow, if you're not clear on the same question, again you ask me.
Yeah.
Don't be hesitant. Because I asked my guru sometimes the same question 100 times. I asked him sometime 100 times, still I was absolutely sure about what the answer is. Thank you, Samita.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sanjay Das.
Shivam Guruji.
Shivam Sanjay Das.
Everyone is talking about consciousness. Actually, can you please explain about subconsciousness and the power of subconsciousness?
There is no subconsciousness. So first of all, there is no subconsciousness. There are only two aspects, Sanjay. Let us understand two aspects. Science calls the state of being as conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Science does not even accept that another state which I have discovered called superconscious. We will not confuse. Science is not accepting that, so we will not talk about it. So Sanjay Das right now, is Sanjay Das conscious or he's not conscious?
Very much conscious.
Conscious. When Sanjay Das goes to sleep, is he conscious?
No.
Then who's making him breathe?
The soul?
No, the subconscious, according to science. According to science.
When we go
now,
sleep, we have subconscious mind.
Yeah, suppose now you reach a state where you faint. What do the science call this state?
Unconscious.
Unconscious. That is not subconscious. In subconscious, you are not conscious, but you are semi-conscious. But when you're knocked out, when you're completely knocked out, they say he's become unconscious.
Got it, sir. Got it. Very good.
Now, Sanjay Das, this is what science talks. But what everybody is asking in the group today, everybody is talking about consciousness. Yes. This is what Girish, you remember Girish ended the session yesterday very beautifully. So consciousness, Sanjay Das, is that state where you realize, I am the Atma. You have that, you become conscious is not the same as what science calls conscious state. This state of consciousness is awareness. It is a spiritual state. It is not a scientific state of being conscious or subconscious or unconscious. They're two separate subjects. Unfortunately, the name is the same. For example, everybody in science talks about mind, intellect, soul, use it the same way. They confuse everything. But in spirituality, we don't confuse it. In spirituality, we are very clear the difference between mind and intellect. We have to separate it. Therefore, to conclude with your question, our goal is to be in that state of consciousness. Sanjay Das, in that state of consciousness, we are able to observe the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. We are able to observe all this, which is known as Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. Means we are able to watch the waker, the dreamer, and the sleeper. We become conscious of that existence. Right. But we are the Atma. Who is experiencing this consciousness? It is the Atma. It is the soul. Am I making sense or is going over your head?
No, it's coming because morning you told to do that meditation. We are doing at 4 o'clock, and really that 15 minutes.
So in
wonderful.
that, Sanjay, excellent. Please continue that. So Sanjay, in that meditation, you try to leave your body.
Yes.
Try to say, I am now going out of my body. I'm watching my body. Try to observe the body. I'm not saying that actually you cannot go to the body, but your consciousness can observe the body as if it is outside the body, as if it is outside the body.
Beautiful.
So that is a beautiful state of consciousness.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Shivam,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjay. Ranveer. Question from Ranveer.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Ranveer.
Sir, as you say, Lavina, control your thoughts or become thoughtless. How to become thoughtless?
It's like making a monkey sit quietly. बंदर को चुप करना इजी है क्या? Suppose आपके सामने एक बंदर है, बंदर को बोलो shh. When I went to Rais's hotel in Pahalgam, there were so many bandars. When there are so many monkeys, that monkey would come and sit outside the window. Until you give something to eat, he will not go. And then the monkey will jump from this and that. So a monkey, the mind is like a monkey. So you have to, there are only 3 or 4 ways of doing this. The first way, what Sanjay Das just now said, is silence. When you are silent, the chances of the mind will become slow. The mind will, it's in silence, you observe the mind. When the mind, suppose your mind is thinking, should I go to Delhi? Lockdown mein kya ho raha hai? Aaj dinner ke liye kya khayenge? You watch the mind. When you keep on watching the mind tends to slow down. So that is the one thing to do. The second thing, try to differentiate the mind from the intellect. So you try to separate the intellect and you discriminate each thought. So when the mind is thinking, let the intellect act like a chani, like a net, like a strainer. It holds back thought to thought to thought. Now this you will tell me, but how to do it? This is only through practice. Because I cannot come to your mind. Can I come inside your mind? Can you come inside my mind? No, cannot. No. So all these are stories. Somebody said, "मैं आपके mind के अंदर जाके मैं ये जादू तो ना करेगा." No, all these things are not real. Right? This black magic and all these things don't work. So silence, observing the mind, and trying to be in that state of consciousness. The ultimate way of slowing down the mind is enlightenment. The moment there is enlightenment, then you become a master of your mind. Then the mind is no more your master. You are no more the slave. That is the goal. This is what Krishna told in the Bhagavad Gita. 5 horses being ridden. Hamare 5 horses are eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. The 5 horses are running wild. The 5 horses are running. But we have to control these 5 horses. You control the 5 horses through the reins, the mind. Who controls the mind? The charioteer. The charioteer is the consciousness, is the soul. You have to control the mind, to control the senses.
Navjot.
Thank you, Ranveer. Navjot, question from Navjot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Shivam, sir.
Shivoham.
Sir, on the very first 8 gym session, we discussed that we all have a healing power inside us.
We all correct. We all have a healing power inside us. Yes.
So I want to know what is that healing power.
That healing power is the Atma. That healing power is the Paramatma, which we don't know. We don't realize the Atma and the Paramatma. We don't realize who we know in a computer what is a battery. Don't we know what is the battery in the computer? But we don't know the power that is inside you and me. We don't know the power in you and me is what? What is the power? That is the power of the Atma, the power of Paramatma. That's why they say, some people think it's a miracle. You have cancer and you heal the cancer. It's possible. How it's possible? When you use the power within to realize, to become conscious. Again, we are coming back to the main subject of today, consciousness. When that consciousness becomes awake, when that consciousness is a power that can heal any disease that's inside us. Because what is each cell? Each cell is nothing but energy. And consciousness is the highest form of energy. So are you understanding, Navjot, or am I?
Yes, I understand. So I wanted to know also about the fourth state of superconscious.
Super consciousness is that state of divine consciousness where you realize that your consciousness and my consciousness is the same. When this is called self-realization. When you realize that your consciousness and my consciousness is the same, then you're able to communicate from consciousness to consciousness. And this is known in the modern world as sixth sense, or hunches, or telepathy, or creativity. That's why some people, they get a hunch, they get a vision. This is a super consciousness. It can either happen just by chance because of the divine's grace, or it can happen by you developing the talent of awakening your superconscious. This is where I used to try to use my innovative power when I was in business. I used to use my power of superconscious to attract universal ideas, and it worked. I have done many mad things in my life, and it was through the power of the superconscious.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last question, Sarah.
Last question, Sarah. Sarah, please ask your question, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi.
So my first question is, are we all here because of our karma? Like, otherwise we would have been like united with God.
Yes. You are here. Yeah. You are here because of karma, good or bad. Okay, let me explain to you. Now let me explain to you and you will understand. Why is the apple on the tree? The apple is on the tree because of magic or because of the seed we planted?
Seed.
This much you are sure about?
Yeah.
Just like the law, it says the seed you plant decides the fruit on the tree. That's why in an apple tree, you don't get mangoes. Why you don't get mangoes? Because it's an apple tree. It's an apple seed. This is the same analogy, Sarah, you must realize. The deed you planted has made you Sarah. Today you are here not by luck, not by chance, not because God decided. God is not deciding the fate of 8 billion people. Every second somebody is being born. It is all automated. It is all happening automatically. You have a second part to the question?
Yeah, no, actually I wanted to ask about the meditation you guys were discussing.
So have I already covered that?
Meditation, no, the whole procedure of the meditation. Like,
okay, the whole procedure, you want to ask me what is the procedure of meditation? So to me, meditation is very simple. It is reducing the MTR. MTR means the mental thought rate. We know of the blood pressure, BP 120 by 80. You're familiar with all these numbers, right? Today, everybody is taking the finger and putting in oximeter. Have you put your finger in the oximeter? What is your oxygen level?
90 something. I don't remember exactly, but that was...
no, but it's over 90. You know you're safe. It's over. So similarly, there's a meter which is not known to man called the MTR, the mental thought rate. This is how fast is the mind thinking thoughts. The mind is thinking thoughts every second, one thought. 50 thoughts a minute. 50,000 thoughts a day. What is meditation? Meditation is slowing down the mind, reducing the MTR. So if you can watch your mind, and instead of the mind thinking 50 thoughts every minute, if it thinks 40 thoughts, 30 thoughts, 20 thoughts,
Yeah.
your meditation is working. Meditation doesn't depend on how you sit, what you wear, nothing, which mat you use. These are all fashion. Don't believe in this fashion. Sit comfortably. Don't lie down in your bed, because if you lie down in bed, then you will fall asleep. That's not meditation. That's sleeping is not meditation. Sit comfortably, observe the mind, and tell the mind, Mr. Monkey, I'm going to make you quiet. Keep quiet. Shh. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Shh. That is meditation. You use any method you want, but you make the monkey quiet.
Okay.
Somebody else also asked the question, how to make the monkey quiet. I think Ranveer asked who asked. So say you have to reduce the MTR. I think Ranveer, you asked the question. We have to reduce the mental thought rate. This is what we need to do. Kiran Kathuria, you want the last question. If you're online, please ask Kiran Kathuria.
Shivoham Pranam Guruji.
Shivoham.
I want to ask, in silence or in meditation, we are slowing down our thoughts. We are making our mind calm. But when we enchant Shivoham, Shivoham, or I am conscious, at that time I have experienced that mind doesn't go here and there. No thought is coming at that time. So, what is your opinion? When we are enchanting, it is another way of calming the mind.
That is why it is called a mantra. Mantra means mind, tra, instrument. It is called mantra. In the Western world, they say, Alleluia, Alleluia. Whether you say that or you say, La ilahi illallah, La ilahi illallah. You say, or Om Namah Shivaya. It doesn't matter what you say. You are trying to say something. You're using a mantra. You're using a tool to quieten the mind. Because when it is like giving the monkey a toy to play. The monkey stops jumping because the monkey is busy. It's like a child, a small child or a little pet dog. If you give them something to put in the mouth, then they stop jumping here and there because they get busy with that instrument. So the mind can be used the mind can be silenced by using a mantra. Some people it works, some people it does not work. So it's up to you how you use it.
But then silence is better.
Silence is the best because then you're not using an instrument. The best method of prayer and of meditation is consciousness. सत के चित में रहता आनंदा वो पाता. Try to get in that state of divine consciousness, but in silence. Silence is magic. I thank you all again once more for being patient and listening to all the answers. But remember this, please ask questions. You should ask questions if you want to realize the truth. You should not hesitate and do not bother about what anybody thinks about you and your question. What matters is you asking the question, and with your question, everybody else is benefited because of the amazing question you ask and because you invoke an answer from me. I bow down to you and thank you. God bless.